welcome to the TCX podcast, number 2. You're listening to Matt coming at you from Edmonton, Alberta.
Brian from Regina, Saskatchewan.
And my name's Jared, and coming from beautiful Ottawa, Ontario.
Welcome back, boys.
Oh.
Thank you.
It's been
Always a pleasure to see y'all or hear y'all.
Yeah.
We actually never seen each other. Well, aside from our videos, we've actually never been face to face, so
Never met.
no.
We actually don't know if Brian is really who he says he is.
Yeah.
He
The
could be a little skinny guy in a basement. We don't know.
The very first time we're going to meet, there's going to be slow, epic music, and we're just going to run into each other for a hug. Just come here, Matt. Come here.
He's a scene out of Armageddon.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, jeez.
I will jump in your arms.
Anyways, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to everyone that's listening, and welcome back to you guys, like Matt said. First off, we're going to be talking about the Pokemon / Tekken combination.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real, y'all.
It's very real.
What do you guys think about that so far?
Well, should I start? I'm going to
Go ahead.
Pokemon Tekken. Tekken's a great fighter. I actually like the style that it plays with, you know, where each button corresponding to a limb and stuff. It's refreshing in comparison to other fighters out there, but I don't know if I need my Pokemon dipping into that sort of thing. Like, what are they going to do with it? Because it's going to limit your cast of characters. What are we going to get? Fighting types, normal types? Like, they got to have to make sense with the combat system, right? So like
they gotta have all 150 classic Pokemon in this bitch, or I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad. I need to see Pikachu fighting a Machamp. I need to see, a Poliwag fighting a Charizard. I want to see every kind of Pokemon fighting each other, because I'm extremely excited for Tekken. It's, we were talking about this last week. I get mad when I lose at games, and Tekken is one of those games that just make me very angry. I hate fighting games because sometimes I have big thumbs, so I press the wrong combos sometimes, and I will just get ripped. But with this Pokemon and Tekken thing, it will give me a reason to go back and get mad again, but also it will give me back a little bit of that childhood memories that I have of the Pokemon, and I really hope I hope they have at least 150. I'm hoping that they bring all 150 classic Pokemon to the table. I really think what they're going to do is I think they're going to make it so they're able to make a Pokemon versus Tekken game too. I really think that's what they're going to do, kind of like how DC and Marvel? The DC and Marvel games, right?
Marvel
DC
Capcom.
versus Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, like those games, right? So I think Pokemon and Tekken, they're going to do the same thing after this comes out, and if it does successful, I can't see them having a reason not to do it, kind of deal. Because Pokemon versus Tekken, like, that would be sick.
I like the cross fighting games. Like I'm a big fan of Street Fighter cross SNK, Street Fighter in those games, right? I'm a big fan of those Street Fighter. Marvel versus Capcom, those games were great. The Tekken game, Tekken versus Street Fighter, that was a great game. I really enjoyed that. But I want to see the Tekken version, because I know when the whole Capcom versus SNK, Capcom had to make 2 games, and then SNK had to make 2 games using their sprites and their engine. So I'm pretty sure that the Street Fighter cross Tekken is the same thing. That Tekken needs to make a cross version using their sprites and their engine, and then for them to come out with this Pokemon one, is really going to be interesting, because is this going to be the start of the rebirth of Namco and Bandai, where they're just coming out with all these really great cross games? You have the Pokemon, this Tekken versus Street Fighter. That's my question.
There's nothing wrong with giving a fan service, right? But
unless you're Capcom and Mega Man.
Well, they that's a brand. They think Mega Man's more of a brand. Now we have the creator doing Mighty Number 9, which is Mega Man, but he left because Capcom is just like, I don't know. They made a big deal about it.
Canceled how many Mega Man games? Mega Man Legends, Mega Man 11, Mega Man Universe. Like, you know, you want to make a bunch of money, Capcom. Give what the fans want. Nobody wants a 9th version of Street Fighter 4.
No.
Yeah,
Nobody wants
true.
that. The Ultra Fighter Hyper Remix, you know, kick me in the balls. You know, here's another, you know, $49.99 Capcom. Please let me bend over. The people who keep buying it, that's what's ruining Capcom, because they're like, oh, geez, a new version of it. I'll buy it. You know, come on.
Come on. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. I really think it kind of, you know, it just kind of plays out like that, sort of, when it comes to those kind of games. And unfortunately, you know, that's what happened with Capcom and Mega Man and everything like that. But, you know, hopefully, you know, maybe we'll see some kind of, you know, Mega Man. Maybe what happens if Mega Man was to, like, come in on this Pokemon game? That would be sick. It would have all the Tekken characters, plus it would have Mega Man. I think that'd be sick.
Well, Mega Man's in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Right? Like, you talk about crossovers, like, that's amazing. And I can't wait, because, again, there's, you know, a bigger, wide, more universe when it comes to, you know, the cross games, for sure.
Yeah. Now, speaking of cross games and everything like that, did you guys see that Zelda and Animal Crossing, all those nice games that we used to play on the GameCubes, a lot more characters are coming down to the Mario Kart 8 universe? You guys see that?
I'm just curious, like, what's going to happen next? Are we going to see this DLC trend pick up in, say, Smash Brothers, for example? We're going to get that later this season.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to have to. It's going to have to. When you think about it, Nintendo never wanted to do DLC. They never wanted to do it for, you know, any of their other games, any of their other systems. They were living in the past. Now they finally go to the future. And the greatest thing about these packs is that you get it all for $12.99.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're not expensive. Yeah.
It's $7.99 on its own, or $12.99 for both.
Yeah.
Ridiculous pricing. Like, that's amazing. I wish, you know.
Yeah. When you compare it to, like, Call of Duty DLC and everything like that, $12 is like nothing. That's like chump change when it comes to DLC for buying them. So I do agree. I think that's awesome that they put it down to $12 for both. And, like, why would you buy one if they're both $12? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be like, oh, you know what? I kind of just want the Animal Crossing package. I don't want Zelda. I don't want Tanuki. I don't want, you know, Cat Peach. So I'm just going to buy one. But for $12, you can get all those, you know? So I would definitely throw out the $12 to get all those in a package, so I can get two of the DLCs. Because, I mean, one, Mario Kart's such a fun game. And two, I mean, seeing what they did with the Mercedes, and now they're coming out with all these new packages, I'm excited to see what's in the future for this game, you know? I think it took a long time for the Nintendo and Wii to get this stuff up and going, like Kaz said, with DLCs. And I'm glad that they're finally doing it. And they're doing it right. They're doing it right compared to everyone else. It is the right way to do it. You know, they're giving bundles, everything.
Yeah. I guess for me, I'm still trying to adjust the fact that I now have to, you know, pay money for this extra content that they're bringing out for me. It's still, like, a part of me, it's almost like a culture shock, because it's Nintendo that's now trying to, like, keep it level with everyone else, instead of being all high and mighty on their little pedestal, being like, oh, we're going to boycott the online community. Now they're just like, well, this is how it is, and this is how it goes. So it is a generous package, considering the price and the number of items you receive. Like, you can pay essentially that same price with any Call of Duty or Halo pack, and you get, like, what, 3 or 4 maps? Like, this has given us some characters. We actually got some themed tracks coming with it, and a few extra carts. Like, it's not complete.
3 characters, 4 cars, 2 new courses that have 4 tracks in each one. So, like, that's and for $12.99. I mean, one map pack for Call of Duty's $14.99 on the PlayStation Network, right? Jeez. Or you can buy the quote unquote. Whatever that new, what is it where you have to buy them all, The season pass.
Season pass.
Oh,
yeah.
the season pass.
Which
Yeah.
is
And
such a
save $10.
stupid thing.
Saves you
Now,
$10
Do you think
in the
it's?
long run.
Do you guys think it's because Wii U was having such like Nintendo was having such a hard time selling their products, and they were having such a hard time when it first came out compared to the sales of PlayStation and Xbox One
100%.
when they came out? I think the big thing is because they need money, and this is just another way to bring it out. I think it just took too long for a lot of these things to come out. I think that's the biggest deal. I feel like the Wii U came out and it didn't really have a good content for it yet at that moment, right? And usually Nintendo, when it comes out with a system, they got mad content for it ready to go on the fly. But Wii U was the first one, because I used to work at Best Buy, and I remember when Wii U came out, we literally had maybe 3 games for it. And usually, I remember when I bought my GameCube and I bought my Wii, when it first came out, there was a good selection of games that would keep you entertained until the new ones came out, at least. So yeah. I think what they're doing now is they're trying to catch up in the market, but also they're giving their fans what they want as well. So
I think the whole thing is that they didn't have any heavy hitters when it was released. I mean, Zombie U, was a flash in the pan. And then the whole year of Luigi. Well, Luigi's a second character for a damn reason. Nobody liked him.
Oh, come on. Luigi is the king. Luigi is the champ compared to Mario.
Let's just give you Super Mario Brothers for the Wii and make a sequel for it for the Wii U and just change Mario to Luigi. Oh, there you go. We have a new game.
Well, I mean, it was a complete game, wasn't it? Like, you didn't feel cheated when you had it.
No, it wasn't like Dr. Luigi where they just changed the skins.
Yeah, I mean, you at least got all new worlds to play through and new maps to explore. I mean, you had to play as Luigi, so what? But the fact of the matter is that it was just more Mario levels, and
yeah. And
still,
I think
you could have did a lot more than just what you did. I just think the Wii U came out and it was just a marketing nightmare.
It was a terrible marketing nightmare.
It definitely shoved it down your throat. Like,
I remember when it came out. When it came out, there was literally no lineup for it at Best Buy. And usually when there's new systems or anything that comes out, there's mad lines for it. Like there is a lineup that goes past the parking lot. For Wii U, I think we had maybe 2 people come in the day it came out and buy it from our store, right? And we live in the capital in our little province here, so it was kind of surprising to me to see that people weren't really caring. And I think it, like Kaz said, it had to, like, the only thing that could come to mind was marketing. Like, it was a terrible marketing for whoever decided what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. It was a terrible marketing spot for them.
No, exactly. Yeah. And just to give everyone an idea, Regina, there's only 3 people in Regina that have power. The 2 people that bought the Wii U's, and then Brian to talk on the podcast. There's no one else has any power.
Exactly.
Regina's nothing but wheat and corn, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, these people, you should expect them to come line up when we only have wheat and corn. I mean, when we go out, we go in our farm field. That's fun to us.
No, but I just think, again, it came down to how long has the Wii U been out?
It's been almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years, and I'm finally just now thinking I really want a system. Why?
Yeah.
Because of the DLC and because of Super Smash Brothers and Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
That's it. If those games were coming out more near the beginning of the system, then I probably would have one right now.
Yeah, because I mean, sales boosted alone, right? When it came out, when Mario Kart came out, sales boosted for the Wii U. Like,
yeah, they were record breaking for the console.
Exactly. So that's they if they're going to release a console from now on, Nintendo, if you're listening, big shots, you need to release one of these big shot games with it, or else you're going to have the same problems you did with the Wii U. I'm sorry, but I'm saying it as a consumer and as a Zelda lover. Not.
Do you really think that they have a problem here, though? Like, it just in comparison with the last 2 consoles that Nintendo has put out there, like the Wii alone had a pretty slow start. I think it took about 2 years into that life of the console to actually, start coming out with some decent titles.
I think
Like, go ahead.
I think they do have huge problems right now. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's marketing or what, but they're not releasing their prime games, or like one prime game when it comes out. Like, I think the only prime game that released with the Wii U was the new Mario, the Super Mario World, not the Mario World one where you're the four, you can play with your four
New
friends.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only one that came out. And Mario has such a huge fan base, but I feel like Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart is what Nintendo is known for. Like they're
Legend
known
of Zelda
for
too.
Yeah, and Zelda. Those three games, they're known for those games. Those are probably their highest selling games. So from now on, I really think they need to release one of those games when the system comes out. I know they don't want to do it, but if they want to succeed in this console war, and better and bigger and better systems are coming out all the time, they need to start doing these things, because they're just going to... Nintendo's never going to go away, but they're just going to kind of just keep, living. They're just going to be there kind of deal, compared to the two big brothers right now, PlayStation and Xbox.
But strangely enough, like, we sit and we complain, we bitch, we moan because these games don't come out as soon as we want them to. But then when the game comes out, it's like all is forgiven and it just looks amazing. And the time that was put into it, that was required for it to last, take this long to release, like it all shows and it pays off. Like, Nintendo is very particular on how their software is done, especially with their original titles, like Smash Brothers, for example. Like, Masahiro Sakurai is like... The reason we're getting a 3DS release months before the holiday release of the Wii U version is because they need to refine it further. They're like, it's ready for the 3DS, but the Wii U console version is what is going to live on, and they need to make sure that it's pristine. Like, it's the fourth iteration of this game, and he's probably under so much stress and pressure to make it work. But aside from that, like, Nintendo's obviously got these two games, Mario Kart and Smash Brothers, to have them survive 2014. Going into next year, though, what do they have to look forward to? There's a lot of what Shigeru Miyamoto's been working on. Curiously, we don't know too much about him yet, but Nintendo seems to be pushing him out there into the tabloids. I just saw him on a cover of, I think it was Edge magazine or something, flashing a little Wii U controller. It's like, I haven't seen Shigeru Miyamoto on a cover for a while. So Nintendo is definitely capitalizing on this moment. They're saying, like, we have great games coming out in just like a couple of months. I mean, there's already some there you can play now. Mario Kart 8 will keep your, will tickle your fancy for a little longer until we can get to that point. But I don't know, you can't blame them for this confidence that they have in themselves when
I guess so.
They can just sit and procrastinate for sometimes what feels like a year or two, and then just come out with a game and everyone just like bows down and kisses their feet. Like,
no,
I don't know. We're all to blame for this. I don't think it's entirely Nintendo's fault.
No. I personally, for me, I think with the Wii U, I was kind of scorned with the Wii U because it came out shortly after the whole Wii, and the Wii was, to me, wasn't as powerful as what I was using with the GameCube. The controller was a crappy design. The whole everything with the move in it, and then shortly after, here's a Wii U. I'm looking at is the next year going to be another Wii system or another Nintendo system? Nintendo had a press conference, a board meeting about how they're open for acquisitions or mergers.
Yeah.
They're willing to sell for that.
Well, that's why we're getting the Pokken game. That's why we got that coming.
I'd love to see Sony buy Nintendo's products.
It'd be nice to see their software on other platforms, but that's never going to happen. Nintendo's always been, keen on making sure it's an exclusive platform. I got here a list of launch titles for both Wii consoles. So let's make a comparison here to show which one really, I think, had the better launch. So for the Wii, just to name a couple of games, we got Call of Duty 3, Excite Truck, I guess Rampage, Total Destruction, Red Steel, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz. Twilight Princess was put out on that console along with the GameCube version. WarioWare Smooth Moves has been there since the beginning, and it's still a fun game. I still play it to this day. I love the WarioWare games. Um, and a Rayman Raving Rabbids game. Like, what else was there to look forward to, really? Aside from, the movie franchises that were there and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I get.
The Zelda game is what sold the Wii.
Absolutely.
Hands down. It was coming out for this. They released it a little bit sooner with the GameCube. People played on there. It was amazing, and it looked amazing and played amazing on the Wii U.
And you could swing the sword with your Wiimote, which was like a big thing for everybody because it was like, oh my god, motion gaming is finally taking its right steps. But eventually we matured and realized how much of a gimmick it was. And by the end of the console's life, like, developers just gave up on the whole let's make you swing your Wiimote. It's like, we got a nunchuck, we also have a classic controller, we can toy around with button configurations, we don't need you to get up off your lazy ass because you're not going to do it anyways. Like, people just figured out ways to work it. It's like, I'm just going to sit here and like fool the controller into thinking I'm doing shit. So they don't need to put in that much effort, right? But then we got the Wii U, right? It's got more of a unique control set in comparison to like the Xbox One and the PS4. It does sort of have its own personality, and it's certainly unique than everything else. And I feel that the games that are truly going to shine are the ones that can utilize the gamepad the most. Like, if you've just seen the kind of stuff they can do with it, like just even with the separate perspectives. Have you guys ever played Nintendo Land?
No.
Really?
Never.
Holy shit, that sold me on a Wii U. That just like Wii Sports coming bundled with the Wii console, that like Nintendo Land is a game I think everybody should have on their Wii U console. It's basically a bunch of mini games, and they're all inspired by like old school Nintendo franchises. There's even some F-Zero in there and stuff. Balloon Fight.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Wow.
I would say party games are definitely like something that should be capitalized on the Wii U for sure. I don't think there's enough of them that do it right. Nintendo Land is definitely one that is probably perfect in every single way. Like, for the whole reason for it to be there is to basically demonstrate the capabilities of the console, and it does a very good job of that. You can move in a 3D space using the gamepad from a second perspective, so you can like see from one angle on the television, and then the gamepad itself has a second feed, and you can just like move yourself around, and I don't know, it's good stuff. There's a WarioWare game on it too. That's great. I'm gonna shut up about that.
No, it looks really good, and I wish I would have known and played this game, because it looks fun, and like you said, with a bunch of friends, it would be the best time. It'd be the best time.
And that was the main reason I owned a Wii U, or I own a Wii U. Like, the only games that I really have for it right now, aside from Zombie U, which I just picked up and played for like a week and then stopped because it got so fucking boring. It was the worst. But Nintendo Land is definitely something to have. Mario Kart 8, of course, and I would say maybe.
See, there's not much you can say.
No, I can't really say. The new Super Mario Bros. U games are good to have. If you like your Mario and it's multiplayer, it's all good. And I guess if you don't have an Xbox or a PlayStation, get yourself Arkham City and Black Ops 2, because basically it's up to that level of quality now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was going to say, like, with those games are definitely ones that are awesome, but I was just going to say what Kaz said, that's all you really have.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest issue with the Wii U. Once they have the better games, once they come out, like I said, now I'm excited to get a system.
Mm-hmm.
But first 2 years, I'd rather save my money.
Well, you've done it up to this point. Now you're actually starting to consider it. So there's something there that's, burning that fire.
But when you compare it to, like, the launch system, even if you go farther back, there's always been an anchor game that sold a Nintendo system, starting back with the Super Nintendo, that was F-Zero and Super Mario Brothers World.
Yeah.
The Nintendo 64 was Rogue Squadron 2 and Super Mario Brothers 64.
What about Mario Kart 64?
That wasn't a launch title.
Oh,
I'm
we're
talking about
strictly
launch
launches.
titles. And this is what they heavily based it on too. Rogue Squadron 2 was for the GameCube, and that was also linked in with Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube when those were released. The Wii U, like you said, was mainly hitched off. Again, Red Steel was the game that they were pushing, and Legend of Zelda, and the best quote-unquote, or the most sold video game in history, Wii Sports.
And that's only because it came bundled with the console. I don't think that's fair to count that. But
No. And then, again, for the Wii U, it was New Super Mario Brothers U. That was really it. And what, Skylanders? Zombie U? Like...
yeah, Skylanders, Zombie U.
There just wasn't enough for me. You know, when it came to the launch, I felt the launch of the Wii U was subpar compared to what the anchor games were back then.
Mm-hmm. But they're getting there. You know, people are starting to learn the console a little more, see what people actually like on it, and I think right now Nintendo's in a good place. I don't know how long this thing's supposed to live for. I mean, if they're just giving it DLC now, and Mario Kart 8 is the first one to get it, there's no doubt that we're going to see more of this in other Nintendo franchises like Super Smash Brothers. Like, for right now, the roster we see might not be the final one by, year 3 of the game being on shelves. Like, who knows what they're going to do with that. What other games could implement this sort of thing, though? Like, aside from the obvious third parties that might want to throw in a map or stuff, but if we just strictly talk about Nintendo franchises.
That could...
upcoming games that could take advantage of downloadable content. And not something like Mercedes wanting to throw their cars into a kart race.
I don't think Zelda could, honestly. I don't think Zelda could ever do DLC. So
you don't think it could be like a Skyrim sort of deal where they just give you new campaign missions and stuff? Because I hear they're going for the open world experience like they did at the original NES version, like long years ago. This is what they're trying to reach for again, is that same open world perspective, but now with all of this polish and pretty visuals. And
I mean, I guess they could, but I really don't know how it would work.
Yeah.
I don't know how it would go about and what they would do. I mean, every game can initially do the DLC, but question is, what are they going to put as content? That's the biggest thing for some of these games that are going to be coming out on Nintendo. Super Smash Brothers definitely can do it. Zelda, I don't think can, and Star Fox, when it comes out, I think Star Fox could. I definitely think it could get different kinds of ships and stuff. Those kind of things. But those are the only games that I can see doing something. Like the games that have... I feel like Zelda is meant to be a one campaign game. I don't think it would be good if it was constant different bosses, like as in like different main bosses. So I don't know.
But what if it was almost an expansion following the
original
story?
If they were to put the original story into pieces, and then in order to get not so you have to buy it, but if you want to buy it, you unlock different kind of things for Link and different kind of things for like your horse and stuff like that, then maybe. But I don't think they can just come out when you're done the game, here's a new DLC. I don't think that can happen. I think they'd have to separate it.
Well, some people like, well, you're basically forced to do the temple puzzles, but like, what if they just had new temples for you to explore? And then you could get like some special item that, for whatever reason, could, I don't know, help you play better.
Yeah.
Give you some special perks, maybe some than to give you a shortcut. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess they could. Yeah.
And they could also add like different skins for Link, right? Like different clothing, stuff like that. I could see that.
Those could all play in a puzzle element, you know, with the new dungeons and stuff. Just things you acquire on your endeavors. But continue.
The only other games that really the Wii U has that would really use DLC would be like the dance games, those type of games.
Well, yeah, I don't want to talk about those ones though. I'm talking about strictly like Nintendo developed titles, you know, like Mario and F-Zero and stuff
what
like
about
that.
like
Not EA or Activision titles. Like all that third-party stuff is obviously going to take advantage of it. You know, it's another market for them to hit. It's just going to be there because it's going to be on every other console. But for Nintendo to go out of their way to give us new characters, new tracks, new
I think
whatever.
it's the Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong could be a good one, definitely.
The Donkey Kong games.
Yeah.
You know, those would be good to have a little more, or even, you know, for them to redevelop, you know, Donkey Kong 1, 2, and 3 maps and put them in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that would be something that'd be extremely interesting. I'd say the Kirby games, but really not much you can do with those. They're pretty much in and out.
Mm-hmm.
They're in and out, play on their own titles, right?
Yeah.
What about the Mario Party games?
I was actually just thinking that.
I just saw that now. I'm like, well, hang on.
Now, I've thought for the longest time, and I don't think Nintendo is ever going to reach at this point, because we're like now looking at Mario Party 10, I think it is.
Yep.
And on Mario Party 9, they decided to change the entire formula and instead now have all 4 characters like be brought along on this like road trip. And it makes an interesting dynamic, but just for tried and true Mario Party, I don't think it really works. So we need to go back to classic Game Board. But you know what I always thought they should do? They should give it the Smash Brothers treatment. I want other Nintendo franchises. I want it to be Nintendo Party and give us like different themed stages, you know, reminiscent of other game franchises, say, you know, like they do in Smash Brothers, where each character has like their own level, and there could be theme music and stuff from those franchises. Just give me a Smash Brothers, but Mario Party. That's what I want. I don't see why they can't fucking do that. Instead, they want to give us this road trip buggy BS. Now it's like Bowser is controlling the map now. I guess that's the 5th player with the gamepad or something.
Yeah.
Which,
You know, they need to go back to how exciting Mario Party 1 and 2 were.
mm-hmm.
Those to me were the best. Those are the ones that hurt your hand with the N64, right?
Yeah, where you had to like roll the joysticks and stuff and actually
and
do
end
some
up
crazy
having
stuff.
to buy new controllers because of that.
Yeah.
Or having to go have surgery on your hand because you did it so fast it burnt through the skin.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that.
I never had that, but that's kind of painful.
Yeah, it was brutal. Now, let's get out of the Nintendo universe and let's talk about something that's been, well, I guess it's kind of the internet universe. Amazon buying Twitch. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's a smart move.
Yeah, you know, it was supposed to be Google, and they dropped the ball, you know, and then Amazon picks it up. I think it was a great move. If I had millions and billions of dollars, I'd do it.
I think if Google would have bought it, they would have definitely made tons and tons of money. But Twitch is something that I feel like should stay the same. And if Google would have bought it, it would have been totally different. And I'm thankful that Amazon did. As a Twitch streamer, when you found out about Google trying to buy Twitch and they were going to buy it, I was like, are you serious? This means that I cannot play music anymore during my stream. This means all my videos that have music in it is going to be gone. That means that the viewers watching me are just going to hear, you know, my dogs barking in the background and me playing games. You know, people enjoy listening to music along with playing your games. I mean, solely they come there for you, for the Twitch streamer. But you also got to keep in mind, you got to keep these people there. You got to keep them entertained. And, you know, music and playing games at the same time does that because people send requests all the time. I feel like if Google would have bought that, Google would have been like, nope, no music, nope, done this. Sorry, y'all. You guys can just basically talk to your camera. You can have your background noise, nothing else. You know, the music in the video games, you're going to have to mute the video game too. It's just, it would have been so restricted, and I'm glad that Google didn't buy it. And I'm, you know, Amazon, like Kaz told me earlier, Amazon already has all the licenses for these for all this music because they initially sell it on their website. Not only this, but it will help Amazon sell products online because now they can link. They can link their Amazon page, and whatever you have, you click something. Oh, hey, look, there's, you know, it goes straight to Amazon. Amazon can do a lot of good things, and this also allows Amazon to get outside of just the online market business. You know, they can now do more because it shows, hey, we're big shots, we're big players. We just don't only sell stuff. We can do as much as you guys can too.
Yeah. Well, Amazon has made it very clear that they want to blow up in the gaming community in a big bad way, and I think both companies are going to be perfect for each other. Like, for one, Twitch can take full benefit of the infrastructure. You know, their customer support, I think, is something that they should definitely utilize, and the extra resources with the engineering side of Amazon and all that kind of stuff, they'll benefit greatly from. Obviously, the music library, the access they have to that kind of music will be extraordinarily beneficial for them, of course. If we could just like implement it so people could buy the music while they're watching the videos, everyone would be happy. It's just like credit. YouTube kind of does that sort of stuff where it's like, this is the song that's played into it. Here, go to iTunes. Amazon's just like, no, you can come to us. We'll do that.
Let me just stop you right there. Amazon, if you're listening, Matt Campbell owns that idea. So if you want that idea, you buy it from him. Anyways, go ahead.
For Amazon to basically get a nice firm grasp on the balls of the gaming community, like Twitch definitely has a place for all of us. There's something there, whether it be fish play Pokemon or we want to watch, you know, the next MLG gaming tournament. Like, all those kinds of streams will be accessible through Twitch, and Amazon will capitalize on that, of course.
I think it's just a better platform for them to sell, you know, what they offer, you know, music, videos, things like that, advertisements. Everyone knows Amazon. I mean, they're doing drone pilots to drop off packages, so they're the future.
Only in the States.
They're the future, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, this is the start of Skynet. This is how it starts with drones. They buy our Twitch streaming services so they could hack into every camera in every house and know who's got what. And there you go. This is the start, folks. You heard it now.
Right.
August 28th, 2014, Skynet starts.
Amazon has their own gaming division too. Like, this is something they've been working towards for the last couple of years. Now that they have like Twitch, I think it is the biggest social game streaming website. It accounts for 1.8% of the entire world's internet traffic.
Yep.
Which is a pretty big deal. Like, think of the monetization and all the benefits you're getting from that kind of stuff. Like, Amazon can totally just flood those with everything that's theirs. But they got like some big designers here, like Clint Hawking made Far Cry 2, Splinter Cell, Kim Swift, who's responsible for Portal, Ian Vogel, System Shock 2. Like, they got some big names behind them, so I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with the Twitch platform and also with their own software.
There's something I wanted to just check. I'll be right back. Hang on. Keep talking amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Oh. I'm just reading it here. Amazon actually has a business that is all about cloud computing.
Okay, that's smart then.
So with 1.8% of, that's just the US's internet traffic. Sorry, I thought that was the world's internet traffic. Even that alone, like, I'm sure some of you have tried streaming on Twitch before. Brian, you do that kind of stuff. Do
Yeah,
you
I
ever
Twitch all
find
the time.
that, yeah, do you ever find it a struggle? Like, do you lose connection or does the quality sort
Um,
of
I guess it would
drop
all depend
halfway through?
on. Yeah, I mean, it all depends. There was one time where Twitch did have a problem for about a month,
Yeah.
um, and it was quite annoying because as a streamer, you need to be able to get those viewers. You need to get those views because one, you're trying to make money. Two, you're trying to keep people entertained, and you're not trying to lose those followers and those people that you have.
Yeah.
So yes, it was for that month there, it was a little bit hostile between me and them. Like I was kind of just starting to hate them, but they fixed it and they got everything better. So
Okay. Well, I mean, just with the benefit, the extra benefit of cloud computing through Amazon, like that's just a whole new wave of servers that are open for that kind of traffic, and it'll only make things easier, perhaps even faster, which will be great for gamers.
yeah, if it's the faster and the better, it's going to be
Yeah.
it's going to enable the viewers and the streamers to have a good time.
Yeah. Now, Amazon has said, and I mean, I'm happy to hear that Amazon is approaching this with some sensibility. They don't intend to change anything about Twitch and what their goals are. Twitch, as a matter of fact, has basically the freedom that they've always had, just only now they got Amazon sort of attached to their hip. But Amazon doesn't intend to like get in the way of anything really.
Yeah,
Like
they're
we're
kind
at
of low
least
key.
we're not going to see a rebranding. Hopefully, we don't see anything like proprietary stream software or anything like that. You know, we like to use our own software if we can, please,
Yeah,
Amazon. We don't need to
please.
deal with anything else.
Yeah, no, no, don't make us get different software, please, please. Although I
And
can see them if they really wanted to, they could do it, but don't do it. Don't do it, please.
don't do it. But you totally could, even though
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't.
We're helping them out a little
Yeah.
bit. Now, I guess talking about internet, have you read about the attacks that have been going on between Riot, PlayStation Network, and a few other big companies out there that happened this week?
Oh, we're talking about the network being down currently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I haven't
About
really
DDoSing.
looked that much into it because I was just on vacation for the last week. So I only am familiar with the PlayStation attacks. I didn't realize that there were other big
Yeah.
companies out there being targeted. But
It's
please explain.
basically it's by a bunch of teenagers that call them Lizard Squad. And what they do is they basically go and they DDoS big companies because they're the Lizard Squad. Which, let me get this off my chest. Lizard Squad, really? Really? Come on.
It says here 10 hours ago they attacked Twitch.
Yeah. I don't know what's... I mean, we might get attacked next because I'm beaking the Lizard Squad, but I think it's just a bunch of kids and a bunch of old men or whoever's doing it just have no lives and think it's funny to cause problems for businesses and streamers and people that initially need this stuff. It's causing the problem. So I'm asking the Lizard Squad to please stop this. If you don't stop this, obviously I can't do anything, but I will just hate you guys more. But yeah, basically they're called the Lizard Squad. It's fairly new, and they just go around DDoSing things for fun. So they DDoSed Riot Games, PlayStation Network, Twitch. I think Google was hit as well, like YouTube, and there's many more. But basically, there's a map.
Minecraft servers.
Yeah, there's basically a map that shows all the DDoS attacks that they're doing, and I'll link it to you guys right now. It's a digital attack map, and what they do, I'll actually link it in Skype so you can show everybody, or because I can't do it on Showcase for some reason. But basically, just this shows where all the DDoS attacks are going, and majority of them are from United States, but a lot are coming from China and Australia as well. So I mean, it's around the world everywhere, except there's none in Africa. There's nothing going on in Africa, and basically whole Mexico and Brazil area is pretty good too. It's just America, the Chinese, and the Australians that are basically doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I mean that's what's going on right now. These are
so
daily.
this isn't So you don't think that Lizard Squad is a local threat? It's a remote thing?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely it's a bunch of people around the world that are just doing this. So
Well, yeah, definitely. And there's no doubt in my mind that there's still like local students and stuff. Like I visualize this as an age group that probably doesn't stretch any further past the age of 20.
yeah,
And these
yeah.
are just kids that are taking on the task to, I guess, try and outsmart the big
They're kind of getting like an
corporations or
adrenaline rush, you know?
yeah, there's no doubt that it's exciting, to go against the grain, to sort of like piss off big companies like that, but or even just the rest of the world. Like people don't get to play their games online if the PlayStation Network goes down, let alone not being able to stream on Twitch or, can't play my Minecraft. But I don't understand. I mean, I guess to an extent, I can understand the thrill of doing it. I just don't understand why people insist that it needs to happen unless you're like trying to make a footprint, impress like some bigger organization. Like I guess these people, when they expose these kinds of security holes, they can be employed for bigger and better things. But if it's just for the sole purpose of, shits and giggles, there's no real motive. It doesn't seem to be in protest of anything. It's just for the sake purpose of pissing us off.
Well, you look at other organizations like Anonymous. Anonymous has done similar attacks, but they fess up to it, and it's for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's never because we felt like it, right?
Yeah.
I was just looking at the Lizard Squad's Twitter feed, and yeah, all of it is pretty much for shits and giggles. That's pretty much what they're doing. So to me, it's just like, it's people like that, ruin everything for everyone else. Yeah, you're going up against, you're taking out PlayStation and Xbox and everything, but you're just causing more headaches for all the users. I mean, what did we ever do to you?
Right.
What have I done?
Yeah.
Nothing.
This is a very real thing, though, and if this kind of stuff doesn't continue to happen, we can be like exposed to an even bigger threat that could essentially pull the kill switch for everyone. So, I mean, for these little, let's call them hiccups, incidences, whatever, like they haven't triggered a nuke and killed anybody, thankfully, but it'd be nice to see these websites up their security, get more familiar with what kind of holes are still in their firewall and, stop people from doing this. But we'll never be able to just like find those holes and exploit them if we don't have people from the outside, coming on in. So it's unfortunate that it has to happen, but I still feel it's a very necessary thing to experience so that we can learn from that. Otherwise, you give it a couple years down the road, next thing you know, the site's been completely taken down, servers are blowing up for whatever reason.
No,
and,
of course.
like, we don't need a terrorist attack hitting us through the cyber net,
No, and I totally agree. I think these are necessary. These are necessary holes. I mean, take a look at when Y2K came. I mean, they released this document or this video or this movie about the guy who had to set up the Y2K thing, and they're like, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to do any of this. And then all of a sudden, they, as the United States, Canada, set up their Y2K preparations. Other countries were saying, can you help us? And nowhere else had any set up for it. So I mean, things like these attacks, I agree with you. They are needed. They are to help us open our eyes and really see, oh crap, we don't have the right protection. We don't have the right things, for this.
No.
At least the Lizard Squad isn't doing what the last attacks were on the PlayStation Network, and that was, taking information. And handing that out. Props to them for not doing that, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I do agree with you for sure. And speaking of which, Brian, his internet went down, so that's the Lizard Squad attacking him right there.
Oh, did we lose Brian?
Yes, we did.
Oh no, Brian. Oh no.
You shouldn't have been beaking off about the Lizard Squad. See what happens?
You heard all that?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
jeez.
speaking of which, I had to step away because I heard a big thump upstairs. My daughter fell out of her bed.
Oh.
So, Daddy had to come to the rescue. So he's just restarting right now. So hopefully he'll be back with us. But yeah, so maybe there's an attack right there.
Maybe. Should we maybe take a moment so we don't, aggravate the waters a little more?
Sure. You know what? Let's take a quick commercial break.
Take a
And
coffee break.
we'll
Got to
be
get
right,
some coffee.
we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, you want to record video game footage to your computer and be like cool guys like us? Well,
I
on
do.
ConsoleXplosion.com, you can actually click our ad right here on the bottom, and you can get a Roxio HD video recorder for 20% off the regular price. That's right, save 20% off by just clicking the ad or link in the description, and you can get yourself any Roxio products that they offer 20% off. That's a huge deal.
20%?
That's right, 20%.
Holy shit.
20 and little percent sign. I don't know what those are called. Percent signs? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go with that.
All right. Either way, check it out. Links in the description. Ads right here. Hopefully you pick it. Check us out. Again, that's www.theconsoleexplosion.com. Scroll to the bottom. Back to the show.
Well, okay, we're back to recording this.
Okay.
So if we want to, I don't know, dip back into this. It doesn't look like Brian's back yet. I guess Lizard Squad really got him. They cripped him.
Well, like I said before, that's what you get for mouthing them off.
Yeah, they act pretty fast, eh? Shit,
Yep.
These guys are everywhere. We got to be careful.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
Lizard
Give us our
Squad.
friend back.
You are our savior.
I do like their profile picture. It's a lizard with a top hat and a monocle with a pipe and a bow tie.
That's
It
pretty
just-
sweet.
Yeah, it's you're forgiven. We can go without Brian. We don't need him.
Maybe
How
it's
can you-
dogs.
How can you argue with a very dashing Komodo dragon?
I know.
Yeah, that is a Komodo. Whatever, sell him at. I don't care.
Kimono? It's Komodo.
I said Komodo. Did it come off as kimono? Because I didn't
Yeah.
mean to say it like that. Whoops.
It's a Japanese clothing lizard.
Yeah. I best be careful. I don't need to be losing my computer too. I just did a clean installation today, so it'd be nice if it didn't turn into a brick.
They're coming for you. Watch
Yeah.
out.
Apparently. Maybe we should start whispering a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little so they don't hear us so loudly.
Right.
So, okay, well, I forget what our note was, what we left off on, but I think we basically got the gist of what we were trying to get out there to talk about today.
And that was the whole thing, talking about the attacks and how unfortunate they were. But one thing that I do want to talk about, because again, being Canadian, this is a huge Canadian thing that's happening, is Burger King wanting to buy Tim Hortons.
Oh, it's already happened. I don't think that it's a want. It's
Is it official?
it's happened. I think it's official. Yeah,
Is it for $11 billion?
something like that.
Is that how much our tidbits are worth to the Americans?
Apparently, I don't know. Is Tim Hortons that special down in America? I'm so accustomed to having it here. It's everywhere. I love my Tim Hortons coffee, and yeah, their donuts are decent, but yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. Originally, we had Tim Hortons and Wendy's locations together, and
They still do. They still do. Out
but-
here in Ontario, every when you're driving on the highway, every highway pull-off has a Tim Hortons Wendy's.
Yeah, and we have some here too in Edmonton. But I'm saying, are we gonna lose those now that Burger King's with Tim Hortons? Are they just gonna give Wendy's the boot and throw a Burger King in there, or what?
No, they'll build a wall in between. Say, one restaurant gets a guy's bathroom and one restaurant gets a female's bathroom. There's a wall right down the middle.
Yeah.
Whoever doesn't have it's got to pee on the floor. That's what I see it as.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, $11 billion. And plus, Burger King is moving their product north. So their head office is going to be being out of Canada, which is a good thing for Canada, I guess. But how many of those, burger bigwigs are going to want to move up north?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see in due time. One thing I want to show you here, because I think this is sort of along some of the lines that I think Tim Hortons is trying to tread on. I'm trying to think, what was it? A buffalo chicken donut?
Ew.
Yeah, it sounds disgusting, doesn't it? I'm curious about it. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna
That looks gross.
It's pretty unappetizing.
See, but then again, I say that, but I'm the one that's gone to the Stampede. I lived in Calgary for 6 years. I went to the Stampede 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
And I eat everything from their deep fried butter, deep fried jelly beans, scorpion pizza, you name it, it's on a stick. Deep fried Coke. A lot of deep fried foods, because if you don't know what the Stampede is the largest outdoor show on earth, and it's amazing. Anything that you have in your own city, it's not like the Stampede, hands down. It's great. You got big names coming that come this year. They had like Shania Twain and Garth Brooks and country. I'm not a country star, but they had Kiss one year and Kid Rock and the Backstreet Boys and woo.
Yeah, they get a pretty good lineup there. It's a big deal. But
and then they have the Coke stage, which has all like other bands every night, and it's just a lot of fun. Midway agricultural shows. It's fun. I mean, like I went every year. And I know people who've lived in Calgary are like, oh, I don't like going and blah blah blah. Well, you know what? You're a hippie or you're a hipster, and you don't enjoy this type of fun. And I love it. And if you have a chance to go to the Calgary Stampede, I say do it, because it's amazing.
It's certainly something I want to experience in my life. I haven't gone to it yet, and I'm like 3 hours away from you guys, so there really is no excuse.
No. Was it Klondike Days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even close.
No. It's just a lot of lines. 45 minutes to wait for a stupid roller coaster. Like, not even a good roller coaster. It's like one of those little mouse themed ones where the cars basically turn in all directions. But
yeah, they have.
It's got very sharp corners and some quick dips. Like, I don't know. Fun,
they have that at the Calgary one, but it's like you fit 3 people in there and it's a big mouse and it spins.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like that or if it's like the PNE in Vancouver where it's like a 2-person mouse, really friggin' small, and it spins around on this track that's like older than time itself, and you swear to God you're gonna fly off that. Anyone who's been on that mouse ride in Vancouver in the PNE Playland, you know what I'm talking about. You think you'll die.
Yeah, we get a few of those at the Klondike Days. Like a few rides that should probably be put to rest. Don't understand how they continue to make a comeback, because they creak and they rattle and they screech, and you just like, it doesn't seem to be safe. But then once you get into it, like the harnesses and everything feel fine. Like the ride itself is sturdy. It's just it rocks back and forth, and it's the shell they give it. It's just too aged, and it just looks old, and it just, I don't know. We need some like new rides.
Yeah, the Zipper is one of those ones that every little carnival you see has the Zipper, and you're just like, why? And you're just like, people are lined up for it. You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna. Yeah, but yet you still stand in line to go to it.
Yeah, it's like the only ride where they actually stuff you in a cage and you're forced to like sit a certain way. Like,
yes,
I'm a big guy, and it's already tight squeezed when it comes to like even just trying to get me in there, like let alone 2 people. But I mean, harnesses now, like they should really just take those cages off. I don't know if that's just a look they're trying to keep with it or something, but
I don't know. But I'll tell you a funny story. Last time I was on a Zipper, I went on it wearing some baggy shorts. Sure enough, I have my car keys in my shorts, and this thing's flipping around doing its thing. We're at the very top, and I feel my keys fall out of my pocket.
Oh.
Then I watch them fall in the bottom of inside the cage, and you can't reach down and grab it. All of a sudden, we start flipping again. I watch my keys, and they're floating by my eyes because we're flipping, and they're just sitting there, not moving, and I could see them, and I'm trying to bite them with my teeth and grab them with my teeth. They fell on my shoulder, and I was able to put my chin and my shoulder together and hold my keys. I'm like, okay, I got my keys. Things start flipping again. Keys pop out, right out little hole on the side where the door is, and bam, right in front of the carny. He stops the ride. He grabs my keys, puts them in his pocket, continues the ride. I'm like, don't touch my keys. We finish the ride. I get out. I'm like, do you have my keys? He's like, nope, I have the keys to my new car.
Oh, jeez.
I grab them from him. I'm like, you hillbilly. That's the last time I was ever on a zipper. No chance.
Thanks a lot to that guy, right?
Well, not
Just
even that.
Turned away a customer.
Like, I wear shorts, 95% of the time. Even when it's snowing, I'll wear shorts. I come from the Rocky Mountains. We're used to snow. In Calgary, it snows during July. Used to it, right? So, wearing shorts, used to it. Nope, there goes my keys. Oop, there goes my wallet. So, a lot of the rides, I got to be more cautious to what I choose.
Yeah. So let's go back to the Burger King Tim Hortons thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Buffalo chicken donut, okay? This thing is the weirdest, and I don't know if I like it. It's got buffalo wing sauce in the middle, and it looks like you're gonna get some corn chips. These two little sticks you see here sticking out, they're just gonna be like poked in the middle there. Corn chips, and I guess the pieces along the top of the donut are going to be crushed up kettle chips.
Ew.
It's going to be an interesting taste sensation when you take it all in, but I have a feeling it's going to be like you got to eat it all at once. You can't just nitpick and eat one part or the other part because it probably doesn't taste good with the dough, but if you put it all together and just take one big bite, it'll probably
Well, how big is the donut?
Well, we're looking at it right here. If you recall the size of their strawberry shortcake donut, it's going to be the same size from the looks of it.
So, for the people who can't see this, see this image, it highly looks like the kettle chip on the orange one has little green mold dots on it.
Yeah.
It kind of looks unappetizing. And what's the sauce on the white one?
I don't know, maybe a lighter, spicy, maybe they mix in two sauces and
how would that stay? It's when you get the strawberry one or you get the Boston cream, it's more of a gelatinous gel, right?
And it's always been for the purpose of a dessert, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but how is this sauce? Is it going to be a runny sauce in it? Is it going to
It looks runny.
Is it going to make it the dough really gross, or do they you want this donut and then they fill it up?
I don't think it's going to be a fondant or anything like that. It's going to be what you would expect chicken wing sauce to be.
Oh, that's gross. It's like they give you a little chicken sauce packet and you have to open it and dump it in the middle of your donut.
Yeah.
Nasty. Gross.
I can't imagine the shelf life lasting any more than 4 hours because the dairy and stuff that might be working into that sauce will just, I don't know, curdle over.
Just looking at it makes me want to hurl. I mean, I tip my hat to anybody that buys it and eats it.
Yeah.
I won't even try it. I'm usually one to, hey, let's try something new. This is just way out in left field.
Just watch with this new partnership. Just watch Tim Hortons merge into Burger King, almost like what McCafe is to McDonald's.
But the McCafe thing was something totally different, and I can say that because I worked for McDonald's for 3 years during that whole idea and the sandwiches and that whole fiasco and the bullshit with the franchises and the corporation. You know, they made all the franchises buy these $25,000 machines to toast the bread and do these, you know, those sub buns that they had, those sub sandwiches.
Yeah.
Those $25,000, they forced every franchise to get one of those, and then they pulled the plug on it and said, "Oh, we're not going to do those anymore." So you just forced your franchises to spend money to give you money, and then you pulled the plug on it. And that was the whole thing with the McCafes. They said, "Oh, we're going to make our own coffee shops, like Starbucks and Tim Hortons. They're not going to have McDonald's stuff in them. They're just going to be our coffee shops." And that was what the McCafe was supposed to be. So franchises were buying smaller plots to open up McCafes.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Oh no, we're just going to incorporate the McCafes in with all the McDonald's instead."
Yeah.
So now you had all these ones that had these smaller, who went and bought these smaller real estates, and they're now having to expand and spend more money to get the McDonald's stuff in there. So McDonald's really pissed off a lot of franchises, you know, at that time. And that was just a whole, you know, gong show. But the coffees and all that, you know, they put a lot of work into it. I just don't see, because to me, Tim Hortons doesn't have the same stuff as like a Starbucks or anything like that. So there's no worries with espressos or anything like that. The coffee I can see making its way to Burger King. But I don't.
And maybe some donuts, maybe some.
I don't.
Specials.
Well, you know what? I honestly do see that because Tim Hortons donuts come pre-frozen.
Oh yeah,
They're
all they need to do is put
pre-frozen.
an oven in the back and
Exactly, and stick them in there. And I'm pretty sure they have that for their buns or for their pies.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
so
realistically, it's not a difficult thing to just kind of put in there. Like, you don't have to really change much of the look of the business. It's just push over a couple appliances and just put a new one in.
But wouldn't you say like a Tim Hortons is when you walk into Tim Hortons and then you walk into a Burger King? This might just be me. This just might be Calgary and other places I lived in and out here. When you walk into these places, isn't like a Tim Hortons feel like it's head and shoulders above Burger King, like in look and appearance and staff wise? Or is that just me?
Well, it must just be you, because I don't really know what difference Burger King has to Tim Hortons just with chairs and tables. It all seems to be the same basic set.
But like look wise, color wise, how old does it look? Does it look run down? Like, I don't know what kind of BK is out there, if it's an older
they've
Burger King or if they've renovated it. Because there are the renovated ones that are nice.
Oh yeah, they're nice.
But there are ones that are like still in the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those lately. We got definitely the new renovated ones.
Okay, so then those again, closer to like, okay, I guess a better thing would be the McDonald's. Old McDonald's compared to the McDonald's you see now with the fireplaces and brick walls and
yeah,
you know, those type of things.
Yeah,
it's just it's just hard for me to see these two joining hands. But again, I could be stand corrected because not Burger King, Tim Hortons started out as a burger joint. So when it first started, it was a burger joint. They served
I had no idea.
Yep. You can see that picture on the consoleexplosion.com.
Nice.
Plug, folks.
There you go. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see it.
Yep.
You can actually take a look. You can see the old Tim Hortons set up and what it looked like. Yeah, they used to sell burgers. Flame-broiled burgers.
Do you want donuts like this, or would you rather have the donuts that they've always had?
Well, do you remember the maple bacon dip donut that Tim Hortons had?
No.
Where it actually had strips of bacon on the donuts?
No.
No?
When did this happen?
God, this was like, let me see here, 2000, and it was during the whole bacon craze when everything had bacon. Bacon this, bacon that, and it's when they...
I must have just got out of there.
It was in about 2013.
Oh, that recent?
Yeah.
Huh.
They
I don't
had,
know.
and then
Turned
the
a
other
blind eye to that one.
kinds. Well, they had like when they're bringing in their new hickory smoked bacon, quote unquote.
Yeah.
The other kinds that they were trying to come out with were the sweet and salty donut, the caramel bacon popcorn donut, the cinnamon bacon roll, the jalapeno bacon and cheese bagel, the peanut butter and jelly bacon cupcake,
Hmm.
bacon chocolate chip cookies, bacon wrapped caramel tidbits, barbecue bacon peach donut, cheddar bacon bagel, which I think they have now, and they wanted to bring in ice cream. So,
Shit, man.
yeah.
Well, I
Here,
guess that's another thing too, is they have Cold Stone Creamery, don't they? So
Yes.
Burger King not only gets coffee and donuts, but also ice cream.
I popped in a link there so you can see some of the pictures of their
Oh,
private luncheon of these items.
yeah, let's take a little peeky.
Yeah, take a little peek and be like, oh yeah, look at that. This was like they had a private luncheon, and then also throw in the link for what the old Tim Hortons look like.
Yeah, I want to see that. Definitely want to see that. Charcoal broiled hamburgers, and lo and behold, there's your hockey player at the top.
Mr. Tim Horton himself.
Mr. Tim Horton himself.
Now I know Tim Hortons isn't a huge thing in the States. You guys have more of Starbucks. So it'd be like Starbucks merging with McDonald's is the level of Tim Hortons and Burger King for us.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Except in this case, I think Tim Hortons is more of the McDonald's.
Up here
Yeah.
in Canada for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, Burger King's not as big in here,
Yeah.
but I definitely enjoy their stuff.
but then again, Burger King's been making some plays. They bought out Heinz ketchup.
Yeah, there was
And
some
so
mention of
McDonald's,
that on the
who
ad
had
here.
the friendship with Heinz, no longer serves Heinz ketchup.
Mhm.
And the best thing with McDonald's fries is Heinz ketchup or sweet and sour sauce. But so for them to take Heinz, good job on their part. So they made the play for Heinz ketchup, they made the play for the creamery, and they made the play for Tim Hortons. So hands down, they're making some good waves in that market. And if you want to make a splash in Canada, you buy out one of the biggest competitors. I just hope Burger King really pumps out the marketing with that creepy king again.
Yeah, I
Bring
want them
him
to bring him back. He was funny as hell.
As a hockey player,
Oh, yeah, why not?
the king is now Canadian.
Yeah.
Bam. Canada,
Would it be too
once
much
ruled
to
by
put
a
him in?
queen, now ruled by a king. Burger King, if you're listening, I will help you do your marketing in Canada.
Would it be too much to put him in Tim Hortons jersey?
There you go.
Like I don't know. Is that insensitive or something? Like, would people be pissed off about it? I have a feeling that hockey fans would kind of be a little choked up about it.
Or you have you show a picture of Buckingham Palace. The camera pans in, goes through the door of Buckingham Palace, goes up to where the throne is, and says, "Here's your new king." And then it's like a spinny chair, and he spins around, and it's the Burger King king
Yeah.
coming to Canada. Bam!
Oh, jeez. That could cause a bit of outrage, but it would do wonders if it went viral.
Yes.
I think it could. That's something that could definitely live on the internet.
See, marketing right here. Burger King, I got ideas for you.
There you go. Listen to this, man.
There's no publicity. No such thing as bad publicity.
No publicity. No.
Oh man, but still, it's gonna be enjoyable. Either way we see it, like you said, it's gonna be something to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see what's gonna happen when actually the whole Walmart, McDonald's, Tim Hortons thing. The whole reason why Tim Hortons is allowed into Walmarts where there's a McDonald's is because they're not competition.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder how that will affect their deal.
So now you have a competition coming in. What's it gonna do, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I have nothing else to say about that. That's for sure. Let's put a feather in the cap on that one.
Yeah,
I'd love
think
to know
that's
what other
enough
people
said.
have to say. Let us know what you think in the comments below. That's a big thing. We'd love to hear what you have to say for sure.
Mm-hmm.
On any of the topics we have, but this one for us is more close to home.
Yeah.
It's more close to heart.
Well, it would be wrong for us to not talk about it. That's not very Canadian-like, so
Yeah.
definitely have to do them that honor.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
So,
see.
for next week for the podcast, we're gonna have a lot to talk about because PAX East is happening in Seattle over this weekend. So that's a huge thing. So there should be some big announcements coming out of PAX. Hopefully, usually I know the last couple of years they've had some big announcements coming out of there, especially now that PAX is like 3 across the states and PAX in Australia and PAX across the pond. And
Yeah. PAX has been doing a good job of making an impression on the gaming community. They're certainly in a good place. They're taken far more seriously now than they were like a few years back. So we might be able to get some good stuff, good juicy news. Maybe not so much outrage, hopefully, but
yeah,
that's almost better because if we get outrage, it fuels that kind of passion, and we could talk more about it. But
well, it's a good
either
thing
way,
because
I'm excited.
yeah, well, the one that's happening is, of course, PAX, the original, and then PAX Development, which is PAX Dev. So, you're going to have a lot of developers there, a lot of announcements to kick off, into the Christmas season.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, a lot of speakers will be there, and it's happening. It's happened yesterday, today. And we're going to have a lot of news about it for sure.
Yeah.
PAX itself is tomorrow, the 29th to September 1st. So, yeah, I'm ecstatic to know what's going to be happening.
Yeah, me too. Me too, sir.
Yeah. And also, us as the Console Xplosion will be invading the great Saskatoon Comic and Entertainment Expo in September, as well as the Edmonton Comic and Entertainment Expo the week after.
Yeah, the Edmonton Expo is on the 26th, the weekend of the 26th. I'm not sure what days they are for the Saskatoon one, but
a week
there you go.
Before.
Well, okay. So, do the quick math. I guess the weekend of the 19th. Sorry,
you
people.
all have calendars.
You all got it.
Here, you know what? We'll pop a calendar up so you can see. Bam. But yeah, so take a look out for us. We have some great people going to these 2 events. Some new people, Brian and Futama out of Regina will be looking after the Saskatoon one, and we'll have Elliot, Brody, and Matt hitting up the Edmonton.
I'll be there.
Yeah, so take a look for them.
You should go.
Yeah, buy tickets. Tickets are on sale.
I'm going to be there. It's going to be good stuff.
These events, I've been to the Calgary one. You've seen some of our Calgary videos. They're big events, and these events and these conventions won't happen without the fans, without you folks, you listeners. These won't happen if you don't go to them. You don't see these people. The people who are coming to these, the guests, the writers, the artists, they need to see that the fans care. And when the fans care, they'll just get bigger. Bigger, 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 bigger. And next thing you know, the San Diego Comic-Con, they're actually renovating. So the San Diego Comic-Con might be moving to a different venue. So
yeah, well, it's getting
San
to
Diego
that size now, isn't it?
Comic-Con comes to Edmonton.
Let's do that. Can we start a petition?
There you go. Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, we're not American, but if we get, 10,000 signatures?
Yep.
It goes on the president's desk. Let's make that happen, people.
Yep. move the San Diego Comic-Con to Canada.
Yeah. Take it up a bit north. Show your neighbors some love. Come on, baby.
And hopefully come out this way, closer to me, so I can go to some of these events.
No, you're off in some weird place. You got to come over here. West is where it's at, man.
Yep. I
West
know.
Coast Canada.
Hey, but you know what? It's a start. We got our website up and running from the last podcast. I was asked about it. www.theconsoleexplosion.com. You can get all your gaming news right ahead of time. All our videos from YouTube are posted on there. Check out our YouTube page. Check out our Twitch channels. Again, check out all our other contents. People have other projects. Check out their projects as well. Lots to go on. We want to be your one-stop shop. Or two-stop, three-stop. We want to at least be a stop.
We want to be on your daily feed. And we want you to make daily trips in your daily lives.
Daily.
We want you to be thinking, living, and breathing Console Explosion.
Bingo bango.
Or is that too much?
No. If you're not dreaming of the Console Explosion and you're dreaming of my sexy voice, then you're doing it wrong, people. Open the ears. Bring it on.
Hey, whatever it takes to bring people in,
Exactly.
Of course, if you want to hear more of our wonderful voices, you got to follow us on YouTube and definitely keep up with us every week with a new podcast. We are committed to making that happen for sure. Even though this last week we didn't actually get it done, but this is a new commitment.
That was technical difficulties. Someone didn't have the internet.
Yeah, something happened, a few things here and there, but hey, life goes on.
And we're in charge.
We're in charge, and shit's getting serious. At least for the next month, it's going to be serious. So we're certainly going to be active.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, my name is Jared Kaztech Teneese. I am signing out from beautiful, now cold because it's nighttime, Ottawa, Ontario. Thank you very much, folks.
And I'm Matt from Edmonton, but before we go, I got to plug my Twitter. We didn't get to do that. You went too soon, man.
Well, I don't have anything. I've already plugged it at www.consoleexplosion.com.
Yeah,
I only have one project, and that's this, folks. That's this.
What about my Twitter?
Well, you say goodbye, and you throw in your...
That's what I'm doing.
Well, then, yeah. Well, don't say, hey, you cut me off. I didn't cut you off. Just talk.
Gingy Beardy Guy at Twitter. You know where to find me. And check out my stuff on the Co-op Couch whenever you get a chance.
It's like the casting couch, but cleaner.
What is the casting couch? I'm not familiar with that. I gotta get more familiar with this kind of shit.
Yeah, you look it up.
Yeah,
Type
I will.
Casting couch.
I will.
But nonetheless, folks, we'll see you next week from the Console Explosion.